On November 12th, 1992, Bonnie Carroll dropped her husband at Elmendorf Air Force Base for a routine flight. Maybe 2 hours later, Bonnie was contacted and told that they had lost contact with the aircraft. As twilight fell, Bonnie was told that they had located the crash site and that there were no survivors. And after her husband died, Bonnie learned firsthand how deeply inadequate it is to have only the government-issued services when there's a profound loss of a military hero. She saw the crying need and could no longer ignore it. And that was the origin story of TAPS, where she set out, often this distant 50th state, to build an organization that would step in to fill the many, many gaps for the survivors of military losses that the government simply was ill-equipped to address.
I was the only person in my class who had gone through what I'd gone through, because what other 6-year-old's dad dies? And I was alone, because they didn't know. They've never gone through it. How can I listen to someone who hasn't been what I've been through? And then there was TAPS.
What TAPS does is TAPS picks up from almost where the services let go. And TAPS provides this enduring, continuous, sustaining, even eternal support if a family wants it for those that we've lost.
Less than a year after Tom Carroll died and Bonnie Carroll founded TAPS, I was in Vietnam, of all places, when Bonnie Carroll tracked me down to tell me the terrible news that my kid brother, a carrier pilot for the United States Navy, had gone down with his plane. And ironically, my family, I myself, were among the first recipients of TAPS blessings.
There's nothing that I've seen anywhere closest to Miss Bonnie's heart. What she does for people, it's not coming from anywhere but her heart.
Bonnie Carroll is an incredible inspiration to the military community, including me, because she gives hope to the survivors of our service members when they've lost a loved one. They're facing some of their darkest times. There's a lot of uncertainty, and having that light at the end of the tunnel and having someone there that will let you know that you will make it through it is incredibly powerful.
My first TAPS event ever was the National Good Grief Camp. We talked about our loved ones, we talked about our grief, and it was the first time that I talked about my dad. And that was really hard. But it was also really freeing, because as we went around a circle, I'm sitting next to other 5, 6, 7-year-olds who've also lost their dads, and understanding that my loss wasn't singular, and that I wasn't alone as a surviving military family. That was life-changing.
The TAPS community will embrace you and give you care and love, but so will she. She's the one who picks up the phone at 2 o'clock in the morning on Christmas Eve. How many survivors have told me that they've called the helpline, they've gotten Bonnie, and she just listens, and she gives them opportunities to share, and sometimes that's all people need.
She gets the big ideas right, she communicates them effectively, she oversees their implementation, and she determines how she needs to refine the strategy, the big ideas, and repeat the process. And that's what great leaders do. And she clearly is truly a great leader.
So the one word I would use to describe Bonnie Carroll is unstoppable. Why? She doesn't stop. She's forever chasing what's best for our families and our goals to our families.
One thing I always talk about with Bonnie, and especially with the evolution of the organization, this is our 30th anniversary year, is there's no stone left unturned. When she recognizes, she talks to survivors and she sort of hears what's happening, she'll build programming, she'll build support systems. She did that when we started to have families coming to us after suicide loss and then after illness loss.
There are TAPS organizations in some, I think, 31 different countries. My wife and I, 2 years ago, got on a Zoom call with the mostly women widows in Ukraine who'd lost a loved one in the Crimean War in 2014 and now had started their own TAPS organization there, and they were comforting the widows of those who were lost in the current war.
This wasn't her original path. Her husband died tragically. And what she was able to do and turn that tragedy into hope and connection and bonds and almost a movement to engage the community and to remembering the surviving families. I think what drives her is the impact that she can see survivors moving through their journey, post-traumatic growth.
The work that TAPS does to help set up our family members for success after they've lost a loved one is critically important to their employability, to their mental health and well-being, and their ability to thrive after the loss of their loved one. We can't do what we do but for Bonnie Carroll and TAPS.
Life is not about what happens to you, but of how you deal with it. And when the world handed a young, happy, joyously exuberant newlywed one of the cruelest things that can happen to anybody on earth, Bonnie turned it around into something that has brought peace and solace to literally tens of thousands of people and families.
In school, when we would write down, oh, who's your idol or who's someone you want to be when you grow up, I wrote Bonnie Carroll. And now 10 years later, I'm kind of the peer support for other kids who have lost their family members. We've had kids who come in and they're grieving it and they feel alone and they're shut down too. And so to be there and say, hey, I've been where you are, let me help you. That is the environment that TAPS is.
Bonnie, congratulations. I can imagine no one more deserving of the recognition that you're receiving this evening. Thank you for all that you have done for fellow human beings in the hour of their greatest need.
Thank you for everything that you've done for all these Gold Star families, for all the children. You touch so many people. You inspire so many people. You are a true angel on this earth. God bless you.
Thanks for your leadership, your dedication, your caring, and your compassion. We love you.
As I look around my office and I think about all the moments that you've stood by me and stood by every survivor across America to give them love and hope and care, the impact you've had is beyond bounds. Congratulations. Your TAPS family loves you.
I couldn't think of anybody better or more deserving of this award. Love you, and I'll see you soon.
You know why God put you on this earth, and you do it better than anyone we could ever possibly imagine. Congratulations.
Thank you so much for always being there for me. From the age of 6, now 16, I would not be the woman I am without you.
Bonnie, congratulations on being the 2024 recipient of the Hiring Our Heroes President's Award for Lifetime Achievement.